What's up, y'all? I am here today to talk about the Pluto and Scorpio generation, aka the Millennials, and their relationship family karma. Um, I am Mr. Venetian Vibes. That's the moniker to which I think I'm going to go with. And I am an astronomer slash astromacer slash astrologer. Don't mind me, I keep looking around because I'm at the gym. I just had a stroke of creative genius, so I wanted to come on here and write or say something about something that I wrote yesterday. I made a Facebook post and it was basically saying or talking about the number of people to which I've met that comes from childhood trauma, and a lot of those people are within the Pluto and Scorpio generation, aka the Millennials. And I think what I have noticed is that what we were brought here to do is to heal a lot of childhood issues and generational traumas and curses that have plagued our families. And I think with a lot of us, that energy that we live under is really, really hard. It can be really confusing at times. It can be very daunting almost. Scorpio is the ruler over healing. It rules over surgery. It rules over getting into the deep down and underneath the underbelly of certain situations and being able to pull out and transmute that energy of negativity into something that is positive. So when you take all of that and you put it behind the gaze of a generation of people that incarnated onto this earth, um, it makes me feel as if that is the overall theme to which a lot of us live underneath, is having to go into certain situations, a lot of it having to do with family, a lot of it having to do with maybe maybe coworkers, maybe who knows. It could be your friends, it could be all types of things. But specifically, what I notice is a lot of us have been able to um, kind of use our scorpionic energy to investigate and to dig deep into our own family history and being able to identify certain patterns that have led our family down certain avenues of karma or certain cycles that keep repeating themselves within like our family's lineage almost. Um, I think our job is to come down here and to be able to sit in that and being able to um, I know the technical term would be to heal that, even though I know a lot of us don't really have or don't feel like we have the tools to be able to do that. But what I find is that a lot of times just being able to sit there and being able to just hear what a person's trauma is, or being able to sit there and being able to be there for a person, to be able to express themselves. Because a lot of times within my own life and within my own family structure, I've had a lot of people, older and younger, reach out to me and to tell me things that have plagued them their entire lives. And on the one hand, that feels like it's a very honorable thing for myself to be able to know that these people have enough, I would say, trust and faith and understanding in me to know that they can come to me and be able to give me some of their burden that they've been holding on to. But at the flip side of it all, it's a lot to carry for one person to be able to carry and to be able to know what to do with that energy once it's given to you. You know, I'm not a psychologist. I haven't studied. I'm fascinated by human nature and why people do the things they do, and I equate that to a lot of I equate that to astrology. That's how I'm able to rationalize a lot of things, is being able to look at a person's birth chart and being able to say, okay, well, maybe this is why you act the way that you do. That's how I'm able to compute and to be able to see the world. Excuse me. Excuse me. But yes, I just came on here today to say that I made a Facebook post, and it basically said that I run into a lot of millennials that don't get along with their parents. And I'm not saying they don't love their parents, but they just don't like them. And for me, I feel as though, as hard as that might be, sometimes I feel like your parents are just a vessel to which gets you onto this earth and onto this realm. And sometimes your job is to be able to identify that and just being able to say, hey, I may have come from you, but I'm not, you don't have to be like them. And I think a lot of us will struggle with that throughout our entire lives, of being able to take the energy that you know that they gave you that was good, and being able to, and also being able to take the energy that you know that they may have given you that was bad, and to be able to transmute that into something that you can make into a positive within your life. And I think that is the overcoming of trauma, is being able to take something that may have happened to you that you're not entirely proud of, and you're not entirely good with, and being able to make peace with it, and be able to move on, and to use your peace to be able to give it to another person, to be able to raise another person up and be like, hey, you can get through this. This may seem bad, but you can get through this. This is not going to break you. And I think that's what a lot of us are put on this earth to do. But it comes from, childhoods and upbringings that may not have been the most ideal. And I think that is where you have to, like I said, transmute that energy. Pluto and Scorpio. Scorpio has to do with transmutation of energy. It has to do with going underneath. It's a spiritual sign. So we are a spiritual generation. And this is the age of Aquarius, which has to do with essentially exposing things based off of and while using technology. So I think within those two realms and those two things, I think that's the marrying of what we see within a lot of like social media. Like, I think on the one hand, we have a rise in understanding of, mental health and generational curses and traumas and things of that nature. And like through, understanding what narcissism is, or understanding what, parental alienation. That's another thing. I just learned that term like within this last month. What is parental alienation? Narcissism is a huge word everybody throws out nowadays. What else? Schizophrenia, like bipolar, like it's all these things to which growing up in the early, 80s and 90s weren't really talked about. Like, we didn't know the signs to look for. And now as adults, we can see those things within, other people outside of us, but also people within our own family and with our own family structures and whatnot. And I think that's a part of breaking those generational curses, is being real enough to see and say things that you see and you want to say. So yeah, that's what I think we're here for. And what better sign to do that with? I put in my post The one thing you really don't want to do is do power plays with a Scorpio. And I think that is because Scorpio is all about that power. So I think within our generation, I think a lot of us have to learn how to take your power back and how to reclaim your power, you know, reclaim your power. Take your power back. Use your voice, But yeah, that's what I wanted to come on here and say and give to you guys before I jump into this gym. I'm taking this pre-workout, got me going. But yeah, so Pluto and Scorpio generation, keep your heads up. If you're having issues when it comes to your life and when it comes to your family and whatnot, just know that, it's your calling. This is maybe what you were incarnated to do. You might just be the black sheep of your family. And that's not a bad thing, It's not a bad thing. It's really not a bad thing. Really not a bad thing. All right, guys, go.